This is the San Francisco 49ers Report. Chase Sr. hanging out here with you. And no matter where you are or how you're tuned in, as always, thank you so much for making today's show a part of your day. Coming up, I just want to hit the latest Niners free agency buzz with free agency rumors starting to pick up steam because the new league year and free agency across the National Football League is less than a month away. The NFL at this point is really just a 12-month sport. Before we do all of that, be sure to subscribe for elite Niners coverage. Every single move that happens this offseason pertaining to the Niners, every big report, talking point, rumor, transaction, I have you covered. So lock us in and hit that sub button right now. And I want to begin with this. Is Davante Adams interested in the Niners? Are the Niners interested in Davante Adams? And I'm starting to warm up to the idea of Adams coming back to the Bay Area where he grew up, because the Niners have this lingering wide receiver need. Here is the latest on one of the top wide receivers in the game still. Some of you might say, Chase, he's 32 years old. He's washed. He's not. Stay tuned for the numbers that I'm about to break down. ESPN's Jeremy Fowler saying the Jets probably going to release Adams. The move would save that organization $30 million. What a disastrous move for them, trading for Adams in that move with the Las Vegas Raiders. And then he plays 11 games with New York. That's it. They also made that move for Aaron Rodgers. They're moving on from him as well. The key about this is that the Niners would not have to inherit Davante Adams' 2025 salary. If the Jets cut him, he becomes a free agent, it's all neutral. And the Niners can start over with their contract negotiations. Adams, of course, starting last year with Las Vegas, getting traded to the Jets after they had fired Robert Saleh. They tried to go all in. They still were terrible. Here's what Jeremy Fowler had to say about Adams. He will have options, and I'm told he is intrigued by the West Coast. You have teams like the Los Angeles Rams, Los Angeles Chargers, maybe the San Francisco 49ers. He's from the West Coast, so it's a possibility he could end up there. Maybe the Packers maybe want to run it back with him as well if they could get involved there. And that brings me to this point. I've started to warm up to the idea of the Niners signing Davante Adams if the Jets release him. San Francisco has a sneaky need at wide receiver, especially if they move on from Deebo Samuel. And what if the Niners brought in Adams and this was their wide receiver group for 2025? Brandon Ayuk, once he comes back from the injury, Adams, Ricky Pearsall, Jawan Jennings, and Jacob Cowing. That is a really good wide receiver core for Brock Purdy, and you're surrounding him with really good weapons after you give him that contract extension with Christian McCaffrey coming back and George Kittle still playing at an elite level. And Adams is still playing at a very high level as well. His yards per game went up from when he was with the Raiders to the New York Jets, 69.7 to 77.6. In 11 games with the Jets, he was on like a 1,300-yard pace, 67 grabs, 854 yards, and 7 touchdowns. His last 5 games, 36 catches, 510 yards, and 5 touchdowns. He can still play, and if the Niners can sign him affordably, I am all in. He's a clean route runner, has great hands, prototypical size. He can beat man or zone. Beating man, something this Niners team has struggled with. He's also from East Palo Alto, and he played his college football at Fresno State. So if he is indeed released, I think the Niners should show interest. And keep in mind that he has had really bad quarterback play over the last few years. He went to the Raiders to team up with Derek Carr. Then the Raiders moved on from Derek Carr. After the Raiders traded away or released Carr and he signed with the New Orleans Saints, the Raiders did nothing to really replace Carr with a viable quarterback option. They brought in Jimmy Garoppolo, fail, and then this year they went with Gardner Minshew, Aiden O'Connell, and once both of them got hurt, we saw Desmond Ridder getting significant snaps for Las Vegas. Yet, despite all of that, Adams has put up some really good numbers. His final year in Green Bay, more than 123 catches, 1,500 yards, 11 touchdowns, 3 drops. 2022, once again, 100-plus catches, 1,500-plus yards, 14 touchdowns, 7 drops. 2023, more than 100 catches, 1,100 yards, 8 touchdowns, 8 drops. And in 2024, 85 catches, but still more than 1,000 yards on fewer opportunities, 8 touchdowns, 6 drops. He does have good hands. He's been known to be a sure-handed wide receiver. The drop numbers don't back that up. I'm not sure why he's had those drops of late. It is a little bit odd, but he's still a really, really good wide receiver in this league. And if he wants to come back to Northern California, come back home and play at somewhat of a cheap rate for this team, if the Niners move on from Deebo Samuel, I think it's a move that makes a lot of sense. It's not a move that you make for the long haul, but who cares about the long haul when you're trying to win a Super Bowl at Levi's Stadium, Super Bowl 60 in February of 2026? So what say you? Should the Niners target Adams? Type Y for yes, type N for no. I know a lot of people are going to disagree and agree, but I want you to explain your reasoning down in the comment section right now. Before we continue to push forward, what an awesome deal we want to tell you about, thanks to our friends at Fanatics. A lot of you have seen me wear this Niners polo during all of the watch parties, and a lot of you have reached out, Chase, where'd you get that? Let me get my hands on one. Some people have wanted to purchase it off my back. Well, I like my own, but you can get your own right now. And how about this sale? On sale, this polo was $80. It is now just $43, limited time only. So get yours while they're still available. All sizes right now as of this recording. Head to chatsports.com/49polo. I'm going to put that link down in the show notes and attached to the pinned comment of today's 49ers report. You don't want to miss out on it. You can look fresh, rep your team, and you can look like me by getting this polo. Could the Niners be in the market for a cornerback who I think could really be a good addition to their secondary under Robert Saleh? And we're talking about Asante Samuel Jr. of the Los Angeles Chargers. ESPN put together a list of the top 50 free agent fits, and they listed Samuel Jr. as the 31st best player in that list of the top 50. The best fit for him to go to continue his NFL career, the San Francisco 49ers. And outside of Deommodore Lenoir, Renardo Green, and Darrell Luter Jr., every other corner on this roster is going to be a free agent. So corner is a big need for the Niners, and I think Samuel could be somewhat affordable. More of an inside guy, but he can play outside. That's just my humble opinion. He did suffer a shoulder injury last year that did limit him. Here's what ESPN had to say about Samuel going to the Niners. He has the traits to produce at a position of need in Robert Saleh's 49ers defense. Charvarius Ward is a free agent, meaning there could be a hole at corner. He has playmaking ability and a playmaking mentality with the foot quickness and sudden closing speed to break on the ball in zone as well as man looks. Now, since Kyle Shanahan took over as the Niners head coach, obviously he's gone through a few defensive coordinators, right? Robert Saleh, D'Amico Ryans, Steve Wilks, and Nick Sorensen. But the Niners play zone a lot. And so Samuel would be able to step in and thrive while playing zone, but he can also play man. And this offseason, Kyle Shanahan has talked about wanting to make some changes on the defensive side of the ball. One change that I would like to see, don't be so predictable by playing zone all the time. Get physical at the line of scrimmage. Do what the Chiefs have done. Do what the Eagles have done. Get up in the grill of some of those wide receivers, jam them at the line. Deommodore Lenoir and Renardo Green are physical corners. Asante Samuel Jr. is as well. And I've always been a fan of his since he came out of Florida State. They've produced some really good corners, by the way, including Renardo Green. And I don't think I'd be too worried about the shoulder injury that Samuel Jr. suffered in 2024, which did limit him to only 4 games played, because prior to that, he played 17 games in 2023, 17 games in 2022, 12 games as a rookie in 2021, and look at those pass breakup numbers. 11 as a rookie, 11 as a sophomore, 13 in his third year, and then 2 in 4 games. He has a knack for making plays on the football. Really good instincts and the ability to break toward the rock while it's in the air. A good feel for the game. And those are the traits that the Niners look for at the corner spot. Charvarius Ward did a good job of that. Deommodore Lenoir, Renardo Green, they too have ball instincts. And Asante Samuel Jr. is another player who could play inside, outside. Renardo Green could play inside, outside. Diamador Lenore could play inside, outside. You can mix and match all of your corners, and I like the versatility that would give San Francisco on the defensive side of the rock as Robert Saleh makes his return to the Niners. Be sure to hit that subscribe button. As I mentioned off the rip, whenever there's a big story out there, whenever there's a juicy report, juicy rumor, we're going to bring it to you here on the show. In addition to breaking news, draft content, free agency content, we do it all.